Hello again. Welcome back to Psych Bites. So, does he love you? Or is he really not so much into you? Is this the question which eats up your brain space more often than not? I bet it is, because that's why you are here in the first place. Well, let's dive deeper and discuss it today. Alright, let's be real. We've all been there, waiting on that text, replaying every conversation, analyzing every little interaction, trying to decode whether he actually likes you or if you're just reading too much into things. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's bad at texting. Maybe he's just playing it cool. Or maybe, just maybe, he's just not that into you. And deep down, you already know it. But here's the thing. When we like someone, we don't want to see the signs. Our brain will go into full detective mode, searching for tiny breadcrumbs of hope while completely ignoring the glaring red flags waving in our face. And honestly, it's exhausting. So instead of spiraling in an overthinking loop, let's get straight to it. If he's into you, you won't have to question it. And if he's not, there will be signs, real, undeniable behaviors that show whether he's genuinely interested or just stringing you along. So let's talk about it. The 8 biggest signs that he might not be into you. Before we start, here's a question for you to ponder upon. Have you ever been in a situation where you weren't sure if someone truly liked you, or if you were just holding on to hope? What was the biggest sign that finally made you realize the truth? Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, let's kick things off with this one. How busy do you think he is? Actually, you ever notice how when you really like someone, you want to talk to them, like, all the time? It doesn't matter if it's morning, midnight, or somewhere in between. You find ways to keep the conversation going because talking to them feels easy, exciting, and effortless. Well, guess what? That same rule applies to him too. If he likes you, he will make time for you, period. If he's constantly taking hours, or worse, days to reply, that's not a sign of being busy. That's a sign of you not being a priority. Think about it. When was the last time you were so busy that you physically couldn't type a short text in 24 hours? Probably never. People make time for the things and the people that matter to them. And if he's not making time for you, he's telling you everything you need to know without actually saying it. Now, have you asked yourself this question ever? Does he seem to connect with you on a, deeper level? Let's say he does text. Maybe even pretty regularly, but something still feels off. Like the conversations are surface level. Maybe he never really asks about your life, your thoughts, your dreams. You could tell him about your worst day ever, and his response is, "Damn, that sucks," instead of actually showing interest or support. That's because he's not emotionally invested. He's keeping things light and casual because, to him, this isn't something deep. And if someone isn't trying to get to know you on a meaningful level, what does that tell you? That he likes the attention, that he enjoys the convenience of having someone to text, but he's not emotionally attached. If he rarely remembers the little details you share, or never follows up on things you've told him, he's listening, but he's not really hearing you. And speaking of effort, is he putting in enough? Okay, let's simplify this one. Have you ever noticed how some guys will put in just enough to keep you interested, but never enough to actually move things forward? Like he'll flirt, maybe even make plans, but somehow those plans never actually happen. It's the classic, "let's hang out soon" guy who never actually follows through. If someone is serious about you, they'll want to see you, not just talk about it. If he keeps canceling last minute, or worse, making vague promises that never materialize, he's not being unclear. He's showing you exactly where you stand, because when a man truly wants to be around you, he won't be full of excuses. He'll be full of effort. And let's talk about labels. Does he avoid being labeled for no apparent reason? Some people genuinely don't like labels, and that's fine. But if a guy keeps dodging the relationship talk while still expecting the benefits of one, that's a problem. If he's affectionate in private, but distant in public. If he keeps telling you he's not ready for a relationship, but still wants all the emotional intimacy and connection, he's not confused. He just doesn't want to commit. The hard truth? If a guy tells you he's not ready for a relationship, believe him. Do not try to change his mind. Do not stick around hoping that if you prove how amazing you are, he'll suddenly wake up one day and see your worth. If he wanted to be with you, he would be. And if he doesn't, that's your answer. And while we're on the topic of how he treats you, how does he act when you need him? Because liking someone isn't just about attraction, it's about care. When you're sick, when you're sad, when you need support, does he check in? Does he make an effort to be there? Or is he conveniently MIA every time you actually need something real from him? Because a man who genuinely cares about you won't just be around for the fun parts. He'll show up when it matters. And here's another big one. Are you always the one initiating? Do you always text first? Always make the plans? Always keep the conversation alive? Because relationships, no matter how casual or serious, are about mutual effort. If you feel like you're always chasing him while he just sits back and enjoys the attention, then chances are he's not as invested as you are. Now, do you feel the spark is missing somehow? Maybe he does text you. Maybe he does flirt. Maybe he even hangs out with you. But you feel like something's missing. You feel like you don't really know where you stand with him. Like he keeps you in this constant state of uncertainty. One day he's affectionate, the next he's distant. One moment you feel like things are progressing, the next you're questioning everything. That's not romance. That's emotional inconsistency. And more often than not, that's intentional. Last but not the least. And this one is as simple as it gets. Does it feel like he is not interested in you? Because some guys love keeping you just interested enough to stay, but not enough to feel secure. And that's where so many people get stuck. They mistake the chase, the unpredictability, the emotional highs and lows for passion. But real passion, real love, it's not about constantly questioning where you stand. It's about feeling safe, wanted, and sure of your place in someone's life. So if any of this sounds familiar, if you've been stuck in that "what are we" limbo, if you've been making excuses for his lack of effort, if you've been convincing yourself that maybe you're overthinking it, you're not. The truth is, when a guy truly wants you, you will know. He won't leave you confused. He won't make you feel like you're constantly trying to earn his time or attention. Because the right person, they won't make you beg for the bare minimum. And if you're feeling stuck in a cycle where you're constantly trying to prove your worth to someone who won't fully choose you, it might be time to ask yourself, is this a relationship or is this an emotional trap? Because when a relationship constantly makes you feel small, anxious, and unappreciated, it stops being about attraction and starts becoming something deeper, something unhealthy. And if that sounds familiar, you need to check out our video on being stuck in a toxic relationship. Trauma bonding decoded. Because sometimes the hardest part isn't knowing you deserve better, it's actually walking away. If you're wondering why it's so hard to let go, why you keep hoping things will change even when the signs say otherwise, you might be experiencing trauma bonding. It's when your brain gets addicted to an unhealthy relationship because of the emotional highs and lows, keeping you stuck in a loop that's hard to break. Click to watch now, and don't forget to subscribe to Psych Bites for more insights into psychology, relationships, and self-worth. See you in the next one.